A down day, an up week. Carol, make sense of it for me.
Yeah, I don't know how to make sense of it. It's so funny. We just had a market guest on saying, there's so many questions out there about what we're going to get from the administration, tariffs, trade, tax policy, and yet you've got a VIX that is just below 15. And he just said, with all these questions out there, he thinks that volatility and concerns about the market should be a little bit higher.
Well, we did get one answer with relation to cryptocurrency yesterday in the White House just before the market closed. We saw the crypto czar in there, David Sachs, along with President Trump, signing an executive order related to crypto. We didn't see Bitcoin move yesterday, but it's moving today up 2%, 105,000 for Bitcoin.
Yeah, but that's like not a move for Bitcoin at all. That might as well be unchanged.
It's so hard to attribute Bitcoin's move in any direction to any single thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of known unknowns in this market right now, and I feel like maybe at the end of a very busy week, people are just breathing a sigh of relief that it's kind of come to a close, and we're going to gather up our strength to get ready for next couple of weeks and months of a lot of headlines. I
like when Scarlet comes in hot. I'm just going to put it out there.
It's because they wheel her in.
I know.
Now,
right?
A lot of funds also, though, you can make an argument like CTAs and vol-controlled funds are going to have to buy soon, particularly if volatility stays low, and you wonder if we're going to see that as like the next leg higher for equities.
We get the closing bells here in New York. It is red across the screen on the day, but we should point out stocks still holding 2 straight weeks of gains right now. The S&P 500 is going to settle right around that 6,100 level. That's down about 17 or 18 points from where it was yesterday, a drop of about 0.3%. A similar percentage drop for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The NASDAQ Composite down about 0.5 percentage point. The NASDAQ 100 down 0.6 percentage point, while the Russell 2000 is going to close out the day lower by about 7 points or 0.3%.
All right, quick check on the S&P 500 in terms of winners and losers. You've got Scarlet, 249 names to the upside, 248 to the downside, so almost an even split there.
Yeah, and a pretty even split, too, when you look at the sector performances. 2 groups finishing up by more than 1%, communication services, as well as utilities, and also 2 groups finishing down more than 1%, and that would be tech and energy.
All right, guys, let's get to some of the winners and losers, gainers on this Friday. Novo Nordisk is one of them, up about 11% at its highs today, finishing the day with a gain of about 8.5%, rallying the most since August of 2023. They did put out some news about their experimental shot that delivered as much as 22% weight loss in early stage trials, boosting investors' hopes for the drug maker's pipeline. There's been a lot of worries. This stock has been under the ADRs, and also the stock overseas has been under a lot of pressure over concerns about kind of what's next for GLP-1 drugs and the pipeline. The results basically putting this drug maker back into the contested race about who can deliver the most from all of these weight loss drugs. So definitely a standout in today's session. Meta also a little bit of outperformance there, up about 1.7%. Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook putting out a post saying that Meta plans to invest as much as $65 billion on projects related to artificial intelligence this year alone. That's more than what they were expected, and that includes building a giant new data center, increasing hiring in AI teams. So that we saw some outperformance there. And Paramount Global, I thought this was a done deal, but apparently not. This one as high as 3.7% earlier in the trade, finishing the day up 1.9% here. This, as Variety reported, Project Rise partners to make a bid for Paramount, offering up $19 a share, all cash. That's a competing bid to Skydance Partners, which has offered up $15 a share. So once again, it seems like maybe possibly in play here, but definitely a gainer in today's session.
If this story were like a series on a streaming service, it would be like in its 8th season at this point. The story is just not ending. Hey, I want to look at shares of Boeing today, down by about 1.4%. They did that surprise announcement late yesterday, reporting preliminary 4th quarter revenue that missed consensus estimates. The company did say that last year's strike affected the results. It noted charges for certain defense, space, and security programs, as well as costs related to previously announced job cuts. I will say Julie Johnson and the team, our aerospace team, they've got a great big takeout about Boeing, and Elon Musk challenging Boeing just last month in person with Kelly Ortberg. So go check that one out on the Bloomberg terminal. Intuitive Surgical falling today by just about 4%. They make the Da Vinci surgical robot. The company did come out with a profit margin forecast for the year that trailed expectations. It also warned about potential impact of new tariffs. Could actually be material. Shares falling today by 4%. And this is an IPO, and yes, it's in Alix Steel's world, a natural gas exporter that went public today. Venture Global falling 4%, even after slashing its price target ahead of its IPO. Shares fell. The IPO price was $25 a share. This is not a great look. They sold 70 million shares in the middle of a reduced range to raise $1.75 billion. The market cap is about $60 billion at this point, roughly $58 billion. It was looking for a market cap of $110 billion before it scaled back its offering this week.
Yeah, we already talked to the CEO, Tim. Like, you're way late on that. I mean,
wow, you guys are
shade.
So what did the CEO say about this?
So I asked in a couple different ways in terms of the reduced price, in terms of the pop. And, you know, on your IPO day, you're going to say you're really excited about your IPO day and you're really happy that you raised $2 billion and that you're going to use it and make more money.
So he's very consistent in his responses.
Yes, so there is that. But I'm interested to see how it continues to trade, who winds up actually owning it, hedge funds or institutional investors, if they're energy people or not. I can go on and on. Instead, I'll go to the bond market.
But don't get mad that I'm not watching your show well.
I am, because the screen's right in front of you.
Okay.
Oh, and I know this because I watch TV when I'm on radio. Anyway, let's go to the bond market.
Wow.
Going to the bond market.
Is it the bond market calling?
Right.
I think the bond
market's calling. You guys are lower. That's pretty much it. But I did want to highlight a lot of supply coming on Monday. You got the 5-year and the 2-year. You're looking at $140 billion of supply coming on Monday, and you got the 7-year on Tuesday. That's kind of ahead of that Fed meeting on Wednesday. So let's definitely watch those.
Guys, I don't know what you guys are doing this weekend, but I think it's time to go to Washington because
we're
the new
rewatching
Pandas are there.
Alix's show. We're rewatching Alix's show. That's what we're doing this weekend.
But you can go to Washington D.C. and you can see the pandas. They're there. Bali and Qingbao are the new pandas in Washington D.C. They've come back, and the Panda Cam, if you want to stay in and watch Alix's show, can also have the Panda Cam.
Okay, first of all, it's not my show. It's our show, you guys. It's our show. Panda Cam, I had it up all day today. What about you guys?
Did you see them do anything?
Well,
yes,
again,
they ate, they rolled, they walked.
Our work. Again, we were doing work today.
You know, years ago, I took my daughter there. Like, we did a trip because she was so into pandas. And I got to say, it was pretty cool to see them in D.C. That was before they were yanked out and brought back.
They're just really cute. They're all over my Instagram feed. They're like little kids, and they're really wobbly. And
they're a little ferocious, though, you know.
Bumbly.
They're a little ferocious.
That, too.
You don't want to fall into the pen.
Romaine, are you a Panda Cam lover?
These are ferocious?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
they
so
can
cute,
be.
though.
Yeah.
How do we know this? Is there evidence of this? I've never seen a panda attack anyone.
That's probably
Google
good.
pandas going wild or something.
I'll pass on
I
that.
really
New
don't wanna
reality
do
show.
that.
I don't know what that's going to do. You trying to get us
All
fired?
right. Well, having said that, all right. So they're loved in D.C. They're also loved in China. We know that as well. But apparently, the fan culture in China is getting, I don't know. The government's getting kind of a little tough on them. They've sent a chilling message. This is coming from the New York Times to panda fans to watch what they say online. Specifically, some online influencers have been arrested or questioned over what the authorities called rumors and radical fan culture when it comes to pandas.
Yeah, it's a little wild. The police, according to the New York Times, have targeted people who've advocated for animal welfare, or they've criticized these overseas exchange programs, like the one we're talking about in Washington. State media, though, has also published warnings about broader panda fandom. The New York Times notes that the move comes amid Chinese leader Xi Jinping's crackdown when it comes to internet fan culture.
They've arrested people for spreading false information about pandas. Like, what do you spread?
That they rip people's faces off if they don't? I mean,
okay.
No, I mean, I think there was some criticism about how maybe some places were really aggressive with making sure that the pandas definitely propagated, and they weren't being super considerate when it comes to making sure the pandas were taken care of, as opposed to like making sure that there's enough pandas available.
Yeah, some animal welfare. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, that was a down note.
Go see pandas.
All right.
Panda Cam.
Yeah, pandas. Panda Cam. Everybody. All right, that's a wrap. Have a safe weekend. Stay warm, everybody. That's a wrap. Our cross-platform radio, TV, YouTube, Bloomberg Originals. We'll see you again, same time, same place on Monday.